Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. We're taking the LR or the EZA INT LR Gohan into the legendary GT Goku event. As always, if you could do me a huge favor, drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new. And that is not the rotation I wanted to start with, but it's okay. It's okay. We will get the rotation I want. Of course, we took Gogeta, or the LR Tech Goku and Vegeta, in their final test yesterday, and they're so good. They're so good. And now we're not really on the other end of the scale. We're not on like the other end of the spectrum, but here's a unit now that's, for the time being anyway. And I put this in the comment of like I think his EZA showcase, by the way. So his EZA isn't. It's okay. But his EZA is okay for now. Give it probably not even a full year. You know, by the time the LR Trunks comes around with his EZA on the global side of the game, give it an extra few months on probably the JP side. Goku Black and Zamasu, or Rose and Zamasu will probably end up getting an EZA, which of course Global will eventually get as well. By the time those get their EZAs, Gohan himself will end up being... He will age. His EZA will age very quickly. And I mean very, very quickly. It will go from being okay for now to then just being probably just meh. Like, it's funny because he got what he needed, which was defense. But the only thing is they didn't alter really anything else. You know, maybe if they gave him a flat passive of attack and defense plus 58% and then an additional attack and defense plus 58% performing a super attack, maybe he might have survived a little longer in the spectrum. But they just decided to literally just give him defense, and that is literally it. Like, literally that is it. So, I mean, they kind of gave him the B-Tech treatment of what the LR Goku and Frieza got, which was funny because they didn't actually even need to get an attack boost, but they did. A very slight buff. They got what they needed, which was defense, and they made them slightly better in terms of damage output, even though they literally probably didn't need it. They're probably one of the most, you know, they probably had the most or the highest damage output almost, or not even almost, probably in the entire game, if you know, if you tried to give them like the best possible. And Gohan, they literally gave him what they needed, which at first to me looked... I wouldn't say it looked amazing, but it looked decent. I wouldn't say even good. It looked decent. You know, it's what he needed. He's now usable. Solid, good, you know, he's a solid unit. But then the more I looked at it and the more I used him, like even now in the Goku event, he isn't going to be bad here, but he's not going to be anything special. Like on basics, he should be okay, like he should be good for the most part. For the most part, he should be taking double digits. Yeah, and he should be completely fine. But then, you know, he's still going to take a lot of damage on a super, which I know, to be fair, a lot of the units in the game will be taking a lot of damage on a super. But for the most part, he should be tanking quite well. His damage kind of just... And this is what I mean by his EZA being okay. His damage kind of just falls into where... like, how do I put this? Back in the day, we remember. I mean, look at. I mean, triple digits on a type disadvantage phase. I mean, this is what I mean. His defense is decent. Like it's just decent, right? You know, in this stage, I said he's for the most part he'll be tanking double digits. He gets hit by a super, you're gonna be probably gonna be taking a big chunk of damage, like most units in the game. That's fine. But by the time. Well, not by the time, but in terms of his damage output, it's okay. It's okay. To be fair, it's on scale to where some other units are like, where their EZA damage is, or some other units that come out in the game where their damage is. And I'm like, this is a guy in Dokkan that used to delete people. He used to be one of the heaviest hitters in the entire game. And now he's just falling down the pecking order pretty much. They didn't have to be fair, they wouldn't even have to. They didn't even have to do a lot to him. Just give him the same treatment as... I mean, as I said, they gave him similar treatment to LR Goku and Frieza, to like mainly giving them defense, which they did. Don't get me wrong. But if they also gave him, as I said, where instead of a defense plus 58% and a plus an additional defense plus 58%, instead of it getting attack plus 18% per key sphere obtained, and that's the only attack buff that he gets, instead of that, instead of giving him that, I feel like it would have been better, as I mentioned earlier, for it to be, you know, an actual flat passive of attack and defense plus 58%. You don't even have to put it up to like ridiculous numbers. Just attack and defense plus 58%, which guarantees you an attack buff in the turn of somewhat okay amount, without having to collect a certain number of spheres in order to get a decent attack boost. You know, because orb placement might be bad, that rotation, and then Gohan's doing kind of mediocre damage. Don't get me wrong, 3.2 million, you know, attack stat. It's still decent in Dokkan nowadays. Like, this is a guy who used to be one of the heaviest hitters in the entire game. That should be, like, when you think about the damage Goku and Frieza do, like, these two units were the two units you were taking to punch it back. Like, I think Gohan was more towards the item run, and then the Goku and Frieza was more to the one without the items. These were two of the units in the entire game that were probably the heaviest hitters. And like Goku and Frieza still are, Gohan's kind of, even with his EZA, has fallen down the pecking order. As I said, they literally purely just gave him defense, which is good for now. Give it about a year, probably not even a full year. He will kind of fade. You probably, he'll be an option and he's still usable, but you probably won't pick him over other units that will probably eventually be added to the game. Just for the fact his EZA, it's like they set him up. He was destined to fail almost. Like, they made him and they knew he would probably age. His EZA would age really quickly. Granted, with what's coming out in the game, granted the types of EZAs we're getting in the game, the EZAs we've gotten recently, and I also, JP 100% included. By the way, we've taken a bit of damage. Who's going to tell me I've been taking this amount of damage? Do I heal here? No, I'm not going to heal here. I'm going to be a little bit risky. I like being a bit risky. But yeah, when you think about some of the EZAs that's come out in Dokkan, I mean, even the original LRs, please dodge this. Like, this is your job. Thank you. When you think about, like, the original LRs that came out in Dokkan, you have Broly, who's just, I would say, is an anomaly, because his EZA was absolutely, it was ridiculous. Like, it's amazing. You have Majin Vegeta over on JP, who will be here probably in about a month or so on the global side when Super Vegeta drops, who's probably dropping in December at this point. I've said this before. So MV will be coming then. His EZA is pretty good, and he can still deal decent damage. If anything, I would say MV on EZA'd probably puts out similar, if not a little bit more damage than currently EZA in LR Gohan right now. Which is crazy, because one of them has an EZA and one of them doesn't. So yeah, his EZA is pretty good. It's better than Gohan's. Who else do we have? LR Trunks. I haven't seen details, but, or the eventual details. Fact is, I know he's going to get an EZA, but and when I say I know he's going to get an EZA, I know he's going to get an EZA, but I can't remember if he's actually already, his details have dropped, or it's just obvious he's going to get an EZA because of the celebration it's in and the way they've been doing things. So he's obviously bound to get an EZA on JP like very soon. I actually can't remember. I remember talking about it, but I can't remember if he's actually got one yet. Yeah. In fact, let me check. Does he have an EZA yet? I don't think he does. But I'm gonna check just to be sure. And I don't know if on JP or on the JP side they've because it's coming. It's 100% coming with the way they've been doing things. But I don't know if they've actually like been like, hey, LR Trunks are getting an EZA. Here's his like, you know, here's his details. Okay, no, he's been confirmed to get an EZA. His details haven't come out yet. So cool. He's probably going to be better than LR Gohan based off his foundations. You know, he has built-in crits and all that type of stuff. He's going to be ridiculous. He's probably going to be good. Is there another one I'm missing? Bardock was pretty good. Like, he got a nice EZA, like a really good EZA. Again, much better treatment than Gohan did. So it's just a bit like, I don't know. It's just, what went wrong with LR Gohan? Like, all of the original LRs, like, the oldest ones, Broly, amazing. Majin Vegeta is really good. Bardock's is really good. Trunks is probably going to be ridiculous. Who else did I miss? No, I think it was all of them. And then eventually LR Goku, Black, and Zamasu, who based off the recent EZAs that aren't like the original LRs, like Hit got revived on JP. Hit went from pure trash to amazing. Like, he's one of the best EZAs probably in the whole game on the JP side. You know, when you think about some of the EZAs that we have on Global, currently right now as well, you know, you have... So I'm going to save all of them for Gohan. You know, you have... you still have the INT Ultra Instinct Goku from the year 6 anniversary. You have... why am I forgetting all the recent EZAs like I haven't been playing? This isn't good. Who else is there? Who else is there? Let me just go to the channel and I can just go through the EZAs that are there or are currently out. There is also... no, that's Gohan himself. You have EZA Fizz Caller, who's probably the best, or one of the best EZA 120 leads in the entirety of the game. We'll skip over the Great Ape units. Yeah, Bardock, as I said, Bardock's great. Who else is there? The transforming Goku, the transforming Super Saiyan Goku and Frieza, they were really, really good. Like, really, really good. Who else do we have as well? Already said the UI Goku. Of course, you had the EZA LR Goku and Frieza, who, again, Gohan needed similar treatment to them. And he just kind of got half of it, which was the defense, which, as I said, makes him usable and it makes him decent for now. But he's set up to age very quickly. But yeah, LR Goku and Frieza being a big one. Was there any more? No, I think I've pretty much gone over all the recent global ones. And I think it's unfair to put him in the bracket of someone like the general pool units. But still, it's a weird one when you think about the treatment of all the other original LRs and their EZAs, and also the ones that are, you know, going to come to global that are on JP right now. And then you look at Gohan and you're like, did you make his EZA like months and months or a year prior to him actually getting the EZA and then making the rest of them? Because that's the only thing that makes sense. Or this one, they just didn't show the same love as the other ones. I'm actually going to use as active just so we can avoid damage. So yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know why. All the other ones are really good. I don't doubt that, especially with where the EZA standards are right now, that as a Goku, Black, and Zamasu, or Rose and Zamasu are going to be amazing. You know, so I kind of don't know where things went wrong for Gohan, if I'm honest. As I said, it's almost like they made his EZA months and months, or potentially a year in advance to actually dropping him. And because he was made so early, this is where he's at. Like, this is where his EZA is at compared to everyone else's. And especially, like, the old original, like, 5 LRs that have also got EZAs. Or one of them that's bound to, which is Goku, Black, and Zamasu. And of course, Trunks' details haven't been confirmed yet. But yeah, it's almost like they made him, like, so readily in advance that he's, like, just already outdated based on what's out in the game. It's weird. I don't know why. This guy used to be, like, one of the best units in the entire game, one of the heaviest hitters in the entire game, with Goku and Frieza, and then now it's just, like, his damage is still good. But when you think about everything that's come out, as I said, he's fell down the pecking order a hell of a lot. Like I said, all you have to do is just give him attack and defense plus 58%, plus an additional attack and defense plus 58% perform the super attack, and then maybe even keep the attack plus 18% per keys for obtain, or maybe lower it. I don't know. Because you got the defense, and then you just kind of left them. You literally just, all they literally did was give him defense, which is, as I said, it's okay for now. We give it, as I said, a year, maybe even less. And he's going to age probably horribly. And yeah, that's all they did. That's all they did was literally just give him defense on super, ultra super attack, defense in his passive, and defense when performing a super attack. That's literally all they gave him. They didn't touch anything else. And it's weird. It is honestly kind of a weird one. It's kind of a weird one. I mean, even though for the most part I'm complaining about him, as I said, in the Goku event, he's gonna be okay. He's gonna be a good choice. He's gonna be a good choice. He goes on many good teams with a lot of solid units. Super Saiyan, I mean, we're on a Goku's family team here, but when you think about the Super Saiyan units, you've got the LR AGL Gohan who we're using right now, who he links great with, almost perfect. No, I think he links perfectly with him, or he links almost perfectly with him. I think the only link they do not share is Gaze of Respect. You know, but yeah, he goes on Super Saiyans. He also goes on Hybrid Saiyans. You know, you got Ultimate Gohan, one of the best TURs in the entire game. SJ4 Goku's good here as well, especially if you're supering first to greatly raise your defense. There's also the Super Saiyan Goku, the one who we recently level 10 linked from 350 mil. You know, there's the Kamehameha category. You know, what else we got? Oh, sorry, not Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2. He's not on Super Saiyans, because obviously it's Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. That's my bad. But yeah, he goes on some good categories, and he goes with a lot of good units. But it's just, as I said, give it a year. Like, maybe not even a full year. And using this EZA Gohan, or using this EZA LR Gohan, will almost kind of be, not irrelevant, but you're going to be taking probably other units over him. Like, his EZA won't look... I said, it's not even that he's good. It won't even look that decent anymore. Like, it's nothing amazing. But he's now usable in the current climate of Dokkan, whereas before, you was not taking him on any team because he had no defense. But I was like, give it a year, potentially not even a full year, and his EZA is going to age probably poorly, and you probably won't be using him anymore unless you really need to. Unless you don't have another option, or unless you just choose to use him. As I said, it's a weird one. It's honestly a weird one. It looks like his EZA was probably made well in advance. And obviously, they didn't tweak anything. They left it as it was. It was made in advance. Dropped all like the more, you know, recent current EZAs. Even on like the other LRs that came out in a similar period to him. And they got made at a later date, so they almost kind of got a better deal. Whereas this guy got what he got. I don't know, it's the only logical explanation in my head as to why his EZA isn't as good as it should be. Especially when you look on JP, as I said right now, when you have someone like... I mean, look at that damage. What's that? This guy back in the day was absolutely clocking people for damage. It's crazy, it's crazy. Just to think, mine's rainbowed and EZA'd as well. And probably quite a few people in the game, like, who've been playing for years and years and years. Yours are probably at least 2-3 dupes, potentially even rainbowed, if you were... I mean, at this point, unlucky, but at the time, very lucky. You know, getting LR Gohan all the time, because he's an LR just... Whenever I summoned on LR banners, wouldn't leave me alone. Back in the day, he's the one who used to always pop up. Back in the day, it was sick. And I was like, oh my god, I have a rainbow LR Gohan. Granted, I wanted to pull the other ones, which obviously eventually I did. But at the time, when you're summoning and you see an LR Gohan, you're like, oh, that's amazing. And now he has an EZA. I was like, oh my god, my LR Gohan's already rainbowed. And he's getting an EZA. He's going to be ridiculous. But yeah, his EZA just didn't quite live up to the hype that we wanted. And now it's almost like he's a nostalgia trip to what he used to be, because he's not going to be that anymore. He's just not going to be that anymore. I mean, yeah. I mean, at least on this phase, he should be doing a bit better with the type advantage. We're going to heal. I mean, usually I would say he's not a slot 1 unit. I mean, if it's set up like this, where they're attacking you after him, or after you attack, I mean, then he can go in slot 1, but other than that, he's obviously not a slot 1 unit. Same as LR Goku and Frieza, because then you need to be supering before you get attacked, obviously, to raise your defense by, was it 30%? Yeah, 30% for 1 turn. In this case, we can actually put him in slot 1, which I think I'm gonna do. And then I'm gonna set... Pick the wrong one. Doesn't matter, we still managed to get super off with Super Saiyan 4 Goku. But yeah, it's a weird one when you just think about the current EZAs in the game and JP as well. And you just look at LR Gohan and you're like, what happened? Like, for example, if they'd done his EZA right, or this was, you know, 2-3 years ago, where Gohan was, as I said, probably one of the best units in the entire game, just deleting people, right? Just deleting enemies. That would have done so much damage. Especially him being rainbowed. You probably would have been 2-3 mil. And I have type advantage, and I'm seeing him hit just over a mil. Like, what's that? It's a weird one, man. I don't get why they didn't give him attack and a flat passive and potentially an additional attack and defense when performing a super attack, and purely you can only build his attack up by per key sphere obtained. Like, as I said, it's going to become so outdated very quickly. It's already partially outdated now, but it's going to get outdated even quicker. It's a weird one, man, and it's so disappointing because when you think about how good this LR Gohan used to be, I felt like all I've done is complain about him, which is probably true. But I'm speaking facts. I'm speaking facts. That's the only thing. I might be complaining, but I'm speaking facts. I mean, he's done all right here. I mean, in terms of just general performance in an event like this. Do I rotate LRUI Goku off? This is where he starts taking damage and becomes a massive flight risk. I mean, it's not safe to float him off now. But minimal attacks in the middle. See, I'm gonna save all those orbs potentially for LR EZA Gohan. But yeah, it's just he's performed well here in terms of damage. I mean, it's basically in terms of, I mean, as I said, it's fell down the pecking order quite a lot over the last couple years. And especially now in the current stage of Dokkan, there's a lot of units that attack or have more damage output than him. And it technically shouldn't be the case when you think about how good he used to be and how hard he used to hit. Like here, as I said, he should be shining. Like he should be absolutely clocking Goku with damage. If he gets a crit, yes, granted, it'll probably be quite a bit more. For some reason, when I do these videos, my units with dupes in don't like to get additionals and crits. It's kind of a weird one, but you know, we move. It's like they get stage fright. But you know, in terms of just actual general performance from what you want in a unit like this, I mean, he can survive. He tanks. I mean, as you've seen, as long as you're super attacking before getting attacked, you are taking about double digits, potentially triple digits, depending on what phase you're on, which is great. We don't have any healing items left. That's great. To be fair, we do have a Whis active, but that is still probably risky putting him up top. So we'll do this. But yeah, for the most part, as long as you are super attacking prior to you getting attacked, so you're raising your defense by 30% for one turn. As I said, you're taking double digits, potentially triple digits, depending on the phase. In terms of how much damage you're doing to Goku, it's okay damage. It's not the greatest. It should be a hell of a lot more, granted. I mean, the damage output that LR Gohan used to have. I mean, we have a 4.2 million attack stat right now because he just got a lot of orbs. So there we go. That's a lot better. Of course, his damage output is all dependent on how many orbs you can pick up, which I don't get why they didn't. As I said, it's another reason why I really don't understand why they didn't add attack into the flat passive of attack and defense plus 58% and additional attack and defense plus 58% when performing a super attack. And then leave potentially the attack, you know, the attack gain from the orbs in there as well. Like, at least a form of attack, just attack and defense plus 58%. You don't even need to add it on the additional attack and defense plus 58% when performing a super attack. But it's just a weird one. Like, it really is. Like, they didn't add like attack plus 58% at all in there, and I don't get why. Like, I actually really do not understand why they didn't do that. Like, it's so weird. But yeah, I mean, other than that, his performance in this event it's okay. It's okay. It's nothing amazing. It's okay. Just because he's able to survive the event, he does moderately okay damage that can trip Goku. If your orb placement's good, or you save them for LR Gohan, which in some cases you're obviously not going to be able to do, you're not going to want to do. You know, sometimes it's worth giving the super attack to someone else or making someone else make sure they super attack. Like, for example, in this team, we need SSJ4 Goku to get a super off so we can greatly raise his defense. So if I skip out on that, that could cause us to like lose a lot of damage. We're actually going to die here. But do you know what? I think this is the first time I'm not going to finish the Goku event with a unit. Oh, I forgot about the revive. I completely forgot about that. I was ready to be like, you know, I actually didn't mind not beating the Goku event and actually putting the video out just because, I mean, he can perform well here, but he's just so disappointing. And as I said, his EZA is just going to age so quickly. But I mean, we have the revival mechanic, which I completely forgot about. But yeah, as long as you're, I mean, if you are saving the orbs and or your orb placement is quite lucky, I mean, then you have situations like this where like you get a bunch of int orbs specifically just all lined up for you, but it's all about your, you know, you have a bunch of orbs ready for you anyway. And you know, you can build up his attack stat, but the fact that that's his only attack boost or attack buff in his passive, it's not great. It's just, it's not even not great. It's just not good. It's honestly not good. He should be like deleting Goku on this phase without me needing to get ridiculous amounts of orbs or getting that crit off, which for some reason, again, whenever I do these, my units that are even have dupes and let alone rainbowed don't even get additionals and crits, and I don't know why. It's like I said, it's like they get stage fright. But yeah, as I said, just give it potentially not even a full. You're like, that was great, but he had a Dokkan attack and a decent amount of int orbs, so there's kind of like an asterisk next to it. Other than that, in terms of his performance, I mean, he can tank. As I said, he hasn't actually taken a super attack for this entire event, funnily enough. But if you take a super attack, granted, you're probably, even if you're super in first, you're probably going to be taking about probably 150, 180, depending on what phase you're on, potentially 200k. You'll probably get clocked for about 200k on the Great Ape phase, maybe a bit more. But he'll survive, which is the important part. He's taking, as long as you're super attacking first, again, getting that defense on super attack by 30% for one turn. You're probably, yeah, I mean, you've seen it. You're tanking double digits, potentially triple digits, again, depending on the phase. Other than that, there's probably better options you could probably take into the Goku event already who might even do the same or similar damage. Yeah, this EZA for LR Gohan, very, very underwhelming. Let me know if you think down in the comments overall. I'll see you in the next video, guys, and peace.